Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5, 10 lives.
So, welcome to the Deadlights podcast, Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
And I'm Mini Leslie, bringing you your mininess.
So tiny.
So tiny.
So
I couldn't.
full.
This was the first intro that we didn't sing into.
Oh, you're right.
Well, we did a little chant, but oops. I hit that twice. You might hear it.
Check. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us?
Can you
Can
hear
you hear me?
Can you hear me calling your name? Well, welcome to the mini space.
Yeah, absolutely.
And today's minisode is about something that I know that you know a great deal about. And unfortunately, our minisodes don't air until like 8 weeks after this, so it's going to be less relevant. But I think still people will want to hear our thoughts about the ending of The Last of Us and how that season 1 ended. Because I know we have talked about it lightly before, but that was in the middle of us watching it. But now that it's ended, we can kind of talk about how that ending happened and how it came to a close.
Do a little quick, perhaps can me cook, thrill and ride.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
And you, as the expert, because you know how the video game went, I'm curious to hear how it compared.
I've never been an expert of anything. Oh my god. I personally, the internet is really hyping this show, and usually I'm in the last of the people, The Last of Us. I'm the last of the people that like jump into like bandwagon into a show. Not trying to sound like, oh, I'm better than everybody, but it's just like it takes me a lot longer, especially if I'm not a fan of things. And in this particular case, I was. Just because the people around me were playing the video game, and I myself love video games, and I love watching people play, especially something like this that I'm not really great at. I'm not great at maneuvering a gun and my character.
That's fair.
But it's beautiful, and they did a really fantastic job overall. To really, 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 cater towards the fans, and it brought a lot more people into this video game. I would love I know one person in particular that I met because I'm doing this thing, and they were talking about how they were watching their partner play the whole game, so they haven't seen it. So they just been hearing things, and they're very excited to jump into it because just as when the show ended, they ended the game.
Oh, wow.
So now they're going to go and see it, and I'm very excited to see what their thoughts are.
Very cool. And you said it did a good job of catering for the fans, which sometimes I feel like people, like when it's quote unquote fan servicing content, people can like look down on that and think like, oh, you're just making it to please the internet or the fans or whatever. But it sounds like this show did a good job of kind of teetering that line of giving the fans of the video game what they wanted from a TV show of this, but also adding more so the people who play the game feels like they're discovering things too, while at the same time bringing in this whole new audience that has never played the game, never heard of it before. And it doesn't matter because it's still a good show.
It's still a good show. And the thing, and what it goes down to is that writers for video games should get credit for how, like, just actually being a writer. Especially for this, it had a lot of story to it. It wasn't just a video game that you get to like shoot zombies and shit. It was like actually really well thought out. And therefore it was able to translate into this show that just blew everybody away, and the casting for it was phenomenal. All the CGI for it was incredible. Really, really on par with how when this game came about, what like was like it relives that kind of like excitement all over again. And they're little things. If you've played the game, is just like little things where like the last episode when Joel is going through the hospital, the guns
Spoilers,
that he's,
by the way.
Sorry, spoilers. Please don't hear this if you don't
Pause, watch 8 episodes and come back.
Binge watch the whole thing is beautiful. But the way that he is switching from gun to gun is what you're doing throughout the game. And in particular, in a lot of like shooter games, you can grab components and add to it to make it better. And in one of the guns that he's trading off, it shows a very makeshift I don't know the
arm
part. So it wouldn't hurt you,
or the shoulder, whatever.
Yeah,
we don't know guns here.
We don't
on a rifle, the back part, I don't know,
back part.
Tell us the name in the comments.
He made you can make that in the game. So it's just a little sliver of just like, and here's for the people that play this game. And also I knew they were going to incorporate my baby girl Ashley Johnson, who was the voice actress. There was a little Easter egg also of Lauren Bailey, who is the voice of a character in the second film.
About to be the second game.
The second game.
Yeah.
So like stuff like Easter eggs like that. And Joel, the character Troy, I don't know his last name.
Pedro Pascal? Or just the character?
The actor's name. Troy something, who is the voice of Joel in the video game. I mean, he was one of the villains in this one. It's just...
That is a really cool part, is they bring those voice actors that were such a huge part in the game and people fell in love with, I'm assuming, those actors as those characters, and they give them another platform to perform.
Incredible. Yeah, and we were just like the lure of that and just like the excitement and the geekiness of that is what I was really excited about. And when you have something this good that just like worked on all levels, at least for me, I'm scared to have a second season because it hit everything so well that I don't want them to then get so consumed in, I feel like, lots of things that are good tend to go bad because of the pressures, not because the writers couldn't make the story good. It's just like then you have a lot of hands now in the pot that tend to drive the creativeness of things and just end up not carrying through. And
and I think that kind of goes back to like, that's like the bad part of fan servicing, where you do get so wrapped up in making everybody happy that what comes out is not as good as if you just made it good for the story, for the sake of what it is. And I'm going to call out another big show from HBO, Game of Thrones, because that felt very much like that is how it played out. The beginning of the show, the first couple seasons, great. People were so tied to their screens. And then you start getting the theories on the internet and people saying what they think is going to happen. And then you have the creators then looking at those theories and changing what the story is to then service what people are talking about on the internet. And then it becomes a whole muddy mess. And it's just like, stop. No, don't do that. So I understand like that concern of like, that was a great first season, but please don't ruin it. Yeah.
Just don't listen to us. Great that we're giving you
great
feedback for now. But yeah, and it's hard in a place where we're so incorporated with the internet and social media. I mean, to be in a position like that now has to keep creating something good is a lot of pressure. I probably would just break out in hives throughout the whole, creation of it. Yeah. And Bella Thorne or Ramsey, Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne.
She's not in this.
Well, maybe season 2.
No, Bella Ramsey did mention that it will be a while, and that makes me happy. It makes me happy that we're not going to get a season right away, because it needs to sit in this. They need to work things out and let it just build. I mean, we already have a great a second video game. Went fantastic, and I'm so excited to see that. But let it just take its time. I am okay with that.
I'm okay with it too, as long as it comes back with a good ass show.
Oh, it will.
Oh, it will.
Oh, it will.
Nice. So, wanted is because you're the expert on this. Just ask about like the video game. Do you remember when it came out?
I was going to college, so it must have been 2012, 2013.
Was this kind of like one of the first video games that took more of a cinematic, like perspective of it?
That I remember there were things like BioShock 2. I don't know how heavy it was in the storyline.
Yeah, I played BioShock.
You have?
It was not like that.
No. I mean, I'm not a big fan, or not fan, but like, I don't know a lot about video games.
Right.
It is among the first, for sure, that I've seen the people around me play that had a storyline like this.
Yeah. Because that's, I guess, kind of my question is like, this video game came out and kind of maybe somewhat switched up the video game industry and how games could actually be played and viewed, and maybe more of like an actual like cinematic experience rather than just shooting zombies or whatever. And how that kind of, I'm sure that changed video. Because now, like, I'm playing a game called The Quarry, which is very much not an action game.
2020.
Nice.
2013.
2013. It's very much not an action game. It's much more focused on the cinematic elements of the story. And you're not really shooting or fighting anyone. You're just going through and walking through the story, which is still enjoyable.
I'm going to take it back. I want to say, yes, it definitely did, was the stepping stone, one of them, for creating this kind of more elaborate story. But then again, we've always had stories. I don't know if you are too familiar with Silent Hill.
Not that much. I've not played it. I've seen some of them.
It's 8-bit. They're very cube-like, but they still have a storyline throughout them, and Laura Bailey is in one of the Silent Hill. So Baby Girl's been doing it all along.
Yeah, good for her.
All along.
Very cool.
But yeah, Silent Hill has a very fun story, and it took me twice to see the movie because the first time I blacked out. I don't know why I was drinking that much.
It happens. Yeah.
I was like, it's just spooky. Chug a whole thing of whiskey.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's campy, it's cheesy.
Fair.
So this is the first time that I've actually seen something I mean, that's mean to say, but quality, with how everything is drama. It's for the drama of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the translation is just, it sounds like it's translating very well.
Impeccable. I mean, to a T sometimes, and how Bella Ramsey delivers her lines it's very similar.
Wow.
And she's British, and she's using similar tones and inflections that Ashley Johnson did in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That makes this character so beloved. That when she goes through the hardship of not only now does she live in a world where she was a little bit naive, she was kept away from these monsters, the clickers and the bloaters and stuff, but now she has realized that there are still pedophiles around. There's still men that are going to take advantage. So now she's having to, sadly, just even lose all her pure childhoodness.
Yeah, it's a different world. There's no innocence.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what's so hard.
Yeah. Well, and good on her and Pedro Pascal, because it's a lot of pressure to play a part that is so beloved, by such a fan base, like those two characters. And it takes two very strong actors with a really good connection to, I think, replace characters that you already feel like So good on them for like carrying that torch through.
I know.
That's hard.
I know.
That's cool.
I'm excited for the next one.
Awesome.
I'm excited that people loved it. Yeah.
Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Go Last of Us.
Go
We'll
Last
see
of
you in
Us.
season 2.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I just kind of want to, we finished it up and we actually didn't really have a chance to talk about the ending. And I just wanted to get it on tape and let y'all know to watch it because it's really good.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. I mean, it's very dark. It's very bleak at the end. And it leaves with a weird taste in your mouth because, you don't want Elle to die. But you understand why she should die. And so, yeah, you are somewhat put in Pedro Pascal Joel's position of like, what would you do? Would you actually give up your daughter to save the world? Which maybe yes, in some ways, but then you see the ramifications of that because he has to then lie to her to keep her safe from the truth.
But nobody was giving this human a chance.
Right.
Like everybody was making executive decisions for her.
Which Joel does at the end too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's a show that keeps coming back. It's a game that keeps coming back to my mind. And I actually just had a conversation with Adam yesterday about it, of just being like, here's a thing that just clicked for me. And then we like had a huge, not huge, but like we had a discussion about it. We're like so excited all over again. Very giddy kids.
Do you remember
giddy kids.
What your reaction was to the ending of the game? Because it's the same, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. You're just in pure shock. There's a lot of things that in the game that you go through the hospital and you're killing, and regardless of what your actual morals are, you wish that you could choose to not do that, but you're having to, because even it's those kind of like, you only have a few seconds to make that decision, and if you don't, then you die, and then you have to do it all over again. So then there's no way out, and you're having to also sit with these feelings. It makes you question like, shit, like just so it was kind of defeating for you to have to accept that is the truth of these characters.
Is he better than the people that were just gonna not kill her, but I mean, yes, kill her, but use her brain for the cure? Because they were making an executive decision. He then makes an executive decision. Well,
I mean, no, not at all. Because even if Bella, who's a 14-year-old girl in this game, ultimately decides like, yeah, I don't care what's going to happen, they didn't give her the chance. They just assumed. And it's what we've always done to kids, to children. We just don't think that they have, they're not humans.
Yeah. Like,
they're property of someone, and just your child, shut up, you don't know anything. And it's like, well, if you keep telling them that, they're going to believe that.
Right. Yeah, because even the people that were like, we didn't tell her, we put her, there's going to be no pain, all this kind of stuff. They didn't give her that chance to, they assumed that she was just going to be too scared, and they didn't understand.
They didn't want her to like say no.
Right. Yeah. Because even if she said no, you know that group was going to do it.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. But they didn't know that she probably would have said yes, because she had that moment with Joel before of like, this all has to be for a reason. And that her saying that came from everything that she went through, which is what we saw in the show. Her best friend dying, her mother dying, her being in this world in general, all led her to a point of realizing the importance of her. And so she probably would have said yes, I think, to sacrificing herself. But you're right. It's not fair that they didn't even give her the chance to do that.
But also she could have, definitely been there. And decided, no, actually, I mean, I know that I said yes, like literally 2 seconds ago, but I'm saying no now. And ultimately, are the Fireflies the zombies of this game? Because they're going straight for her brain.
Interesting.
That was the thing that Adam, it clicked for him. And a thing that clicked for me is that maybe it is beyond Joel's selfishness, the reason why he's trying to save Ellie. It could have also been that, like, he is a man. He knows how terrible her existence is in this world, and she has had to fight all these people off. But also, if she gets killed to cure the world, those people, those terrible people, are going to be the ones that are also getting saved. So is there a human race that is worth saving? So
yeah, do we really want to leave the cure in the hands of these people?
These pedophiles, these people that are cannibals, people that have had to fight every day at all moments of their life to get through. Is this the human race that we want to, like, keep populating the world?
Maybe we just leave them for the clickers.
And that's what Joel decided.
Yep. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Whoops.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
pretty awesome.
right?
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm very excited for season 2 and beyond.
I am very excited.
What is to come? I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know what's going to happen in the world.
Well, the thing is, the second there is a little chapter game that you get to play, and it's her going to the mall with
cool.
with the best friend.
Oh, that's cute. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah,
it's cool to see the on Instagram, like the day after the episodes air is always like the side by side of the video game and the show, and you see how similar it is. It's really cool. It's really, really, really
it's
cool.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The Last of Us.
The Last of Us,
Last
everybody.
Of Us. 5 Smash Pumpkins.
5. 10, perhaps. 20. Wow. All of them.
Awesome. Wow.
Well, we're great.
Yeah. We'll see you for the next Last of Us.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Color Me Leslie.
And me at BeepBeeperGT. You can follow us at the Deadlights Pod.
Wow.
And also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are recording this at.
Yes.
But until next minisode, let's
get
mini spooky.
Ooh.
I'm a clicker.